Quiz, 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 quiz.
Yes, I'd ask you who did the voice, but that's too easy. All right, you see the number. Get on the phone lines right now if you haven't already. Going to ask questions here, and if you get it right here, you get a mug. And also, we're going to talk about it because there are big issues during the week. All right, we'll also ship you this favorite mug here, and make sure you give the producer the information, and they'll get it out to you. All right, let's go first here to Clifford in Parsippany. Clifford, you with me?
Yes.
All right, here you go. And again, this news from the past week here. Who said this week, "I do not believe that the president loves America"?
Rudolph Giuliani.
Well done. He said these comments, and more than that, he doubled down on him, Andrew, right? He was given a chance here to kind of step him back a little bit, and then he went even further.
Yeah, he got some, I think it was an interview with the Times, and they asked him, he said something about, like, people say that I'm being racist, and I'm not being racist because Obama's mother was white and because he was raised in a white environment. I don't want to go any further on this because it gets a little creepy.
Hey, here's what I don't know, Dom. You cover this guy forever, right? The question I got after this was, why did he say that? Nobody thought that he really thought it, but they said, is he trying to score points? Like, is he trying to, like, and I said, I don't know. Because I always thought he was a smart guy, but he said now twice, remember, after the verdict, after the non-indictment came down, and then this. Do you think he really believes this, or who's his audience?
Yes, but I also think this is Rudy who's having a hard time understanding that he's no longer relevant. And so he's saying he's reaching for the fences, he's doing whatever he feels he has to do. But this is classic Rudy Giuliani. This is the type of guy that he is. And you should keep in mind, Richard, before you go to any other calls here, this is the same mayor. I know that he had the opportunity to rewrite himself after 9/11, but the day before 9/11, New Yorkers ran him out of town.
We also learned today that he didn't know that there was any press in the room. So, I mean, this wasn't supposed to be for outside consumption. I'm guessing this was just for the people who were assembled.
This was his 47%.
Well, you know, Clifford, I got a bonus question for you. Actually, I can't give it anything, but let's see if you get it right. When Giuliani said this at this event where, as Dom said, he didn't think that there was press there, it was a fundraiser for somebody who's running for president right now on the Republican side. Whose fundraiser was it? Do you know?
Scott Walker.
Man, you're good.
There you go.
Good. We'll put a little TLC with it. And here's a question for me. Yeah, he's throwing his way.
There you go.
Scott Walker, he didn't. There was an opportunity, possibly, right, for him to say, "Whoa, you know, it goes too far. I disagree with the man's policies and all that, but I don't question his love of country." Where is it incumbent on the politician? If somebody says something at your event, is it on you to correct it or no?
That's a good
It's
question.
very rare. It's unfortunately rare that it happens. I mean, one is you're all consumed.
It's tough too, right?
Consumed with your own self-importance at your own event. Everyone is, oh, you, and then someone says something and you think in the back of your mind, oh, I wish he hadn't said that. But you're saying actually step up and say, no, you shouldn't have said that. First place, I think that's hard. Second place, it is hard because you want something from everybody, especially money, and that's where they are. But I do think there's many a time, and we can all fault ourselves, politician or not, when it's our job to say to the other person, you know what, that was out of bounds, and this was out of bounds.
Every presidential candidate on the Republican side is going to get that question.
Yep.
Now, they're already getting it. Bobby Jindal today took the bait and was like, no, I have some questions about it. I think Scott Walker had a chance to walk it back today. And
this is an opportunity, though, for a very intellectually honest conversation. Is that, does the President of the United States have to, quote unquote, love the country vis-a-vis the idea that, can we be honest with the fact that this particular president has had moments where he has called out America for its behavior in ways that other presidents before him haven't, at the peril of being accused of not loving his country. In other words,
TJ, you call out your kids when they misbehave. You still love your kids.
I
mean, you can
what
say,
I'm saying is
you
that
can say less than wonderful
the
things.
terminology that Giuliani used may not have been the appropriate one. In other words, was he trying to get at the idea that President Obama sees America as sometimes being the problem and not the answer?
I think it's a really interesting question, and I know I'm going to speak for Dominic too. no other president in my lifetime has ever had to answer this question or answer the legitimacy as president. I don't think it's a coincidence, because his name sounds different and he looks different, that all of a sudden these questions are coming out. I think it's outrageous, and for a guy who called himself America's mayor to ask it, I know you wouldn't have said it, and I'm not looking at you like you're Rudy, but for people to suggest here, because he talked about the Crusades, because he questioned sometimes our foreign policy histories and stuff, that means you don't love the country? What are we supposed to agree, love it or leave it? I mean, come on. That's
I'm
we're
just
better
saying,
than that.
is
All right. I want to get to this real quick. I know we got a break here. Good question. This one's going out to Val, who's calling us North Carolina. Do I have that right, Val?
Yep, you do.
All right, Tar Heel, here we go. Which national leader here got a little handsy with a person's who was just appointed to a cabinet-level position's wife? Val, this is going to be a little tough to Google here. The guy got a little handsy. I don't think he meant bad by it, but certainly if you saw the pictures, it didn't look too good. So who was it? Do you know?
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill. No, the quarterback for the Dolphins is not the right answer. Let us show you the video, if we could, of, yes, Crazy Joe. Joe Biden here. Do we have that video? It was Ash Carter, who's the new defense secretary. And yes, that's the least of it. Joe Biden.
Oh,
he kept
there you
going in,
go.
going for the real
There
thing.
he goes.
Can I ask you, I'm sorry, is the only woman at the table here?
Designee.
Yeah, but really, I know he didn't mean bad by it, but we saw this certainly with George Bush, with Angela Merkel. We've seen this before. I know these guys don't think they're doing anything wrong here, but have you ever been like, hey, cool it already?
Yes.
Yes?
Absolutely. Cool it. Bad move.
And it's
Back
come up where guys,
Yes,
usually older generation, don't think they're doing anything wrong.
No,
huh?
it's not just older generations. Older generation coupled with power, so they sort of get a little tone deaf, and they sort of think it's okay. Yeah, you got to remind some men sometimes, and stupid.
It's stupid. And why didn't somebody just be like, stop, Like,
Well,
hands
she
to
probably
yourself.
tried to say
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, I
Her
know.
husband was in the process of becoming Secretary of Defense. She's not going to be like, stop.
All right, we'll be back with more questions on the other side of the break. If you haven't joined the phone lines, they're jammed. I think there might be one line opening up. Get on it and tell us what you have to say. More questions after this.